Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers are calling it quits, and this isn't your average Hollywood split. From toxic fights to secret deals, the energy feels explosive. So what's really going on behind the divorce? Oh my gosh, another Hollywood love story is gone. So sad. I haven't followed much of Denise Richards since she hasn't been on The Housewives, so that's about as far as I go with following her, but let's just say it was an interesting time to be watching. Anyhow, they've announced that they're getting a divorce, and we're just going to look into it. Last I'd seen, maybe last week, he said she spends a ton of money, but apparently she also makes a lot of money. I don't know. So let's look into it. Of course, all alleged for entertainment purposes only, not facts. I keep down with snarky opinions. If you're a big fan of Denise Richard or Aaron Phypers, ain't the video for you, probably. All right, let's get into it. So, what's the final straw that broke the Richards Phypers camel divorce back? What is the final straw? Well, there we have the world. 10 of Swords. 7 of Cups. It's not just one thing here. Not just one thing. 6 of Swords. And the Hanged Man. Let's just say maybe there's not just one thing that we can point to saying this is what broke the camel's back here in this divorce. This feels like somebody finally saw somebody else for who they truly were. Why it took this long? I don't know. They don't strike me as particularly bright. Maybe that's why. Okay. Underlying energy. King of Swords. Change is coming. Justice. Bottom line. Now this is the battle of the media. Battle in the media, right? Whatever stories are going to put out there. Interesting, though. I don't know who. One of them, allegedly, my opinion. One of them caught someone else either doing or being not the person that they thought that they were. Giving them this whole new idea of, like, who are you really? You could say that goes both ways, though, because if you watch, say you're like casual outside viewer like me. When I watched him on The Housewives, he has some type of, we'll say, metaphysical business where there's some type of healing, and all the rest of the housewives thought it was like dumb. I didn't think all of his ideas were dumb, but you know, I also wear a tinfoil hat, so there's that. On the other side, then you had instances where Denise was wearing her jacket upside down, but trying to play it off as fashion, and sometimes seeming like she's just out of it. Either way, this is a lot of, I found out who you were. There's a lot of gaslighting going on during this marriage, both ways, I think. And at some point, somebody, I think, is, I don't know if they had a prenup or something. There's some type of document here that someone else is looking to make null and void to get their full payout. You know, sometimes that happens when the relationship goes sour, and at first, like, of course, whatever's yours is yours, whatever's mine's mine. And then it's divorce time, it's like, no, it's all mine. Okay, so not one thing. Interesting. I would have assumed we'd have something, but looks like they've just been this entire time. Who does Aaron Phypers think Denise is now? Like, what's his perception of Denise Richards? Okay. 7 of Pentacles, Knave of Chalices, 8 of Wands, Seven of Chalices Cups. The World. He would admit that she's a hustler. She works hard. She's hard in TV land, entertainment. That she's doing work. That she's always out there trying to keep her head above water in terms of getting jobs and sustaining her lifestyle and all of that stuff. That she's very good at, I don't necessarily want to say manipulating the media, but she knows how to play the media game, and that she is not who she seems to be behind the scenes, that there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, and if people really saw who the real Denise Richards was, they'd like pulled her mask off like Scooby-Doo type. They would not be too pleased with who she is. All right. What would Denise Richards' perception of Aaron Phypers be right now? Chariot, Six of Wands, Three of Cups, Knave of Chalices, High Priestess. Oh, my. She would be looking at, this is a guy who's riding coattails. He rode the Wild Things coattails. He was looking to, essentially like he's a poser in her eyes, allegedly, my opinion from cards. He's a poser who's kind of like a charlatan, like, and I'm not trying to say he is, because I don't know him. I wasn't there. But it would be that the cards would say that from her perspective that he's out there and he would be trying to get a whole bunch of other people buying in on his ideas, his fringe business, or whatever they're going to call it. He's out there maybe wooing women a little too much for support. And then almost this idea, she doesn't know exactly who he is, where he came from, what his deal really is, that he might be some type of, I don't know, eyes wide shut plant handler or something like that maybe. Which is interesting because she's obviously an eyes wide shut. I mean, okay. Let's see, what are the, let's get out this deck. What are the biggest secrets being hid in this divorce that may or may not come out? Now, the money issue, apparently he's saying she's spending like $100K a month, but she's making $200K a month. I don't know. But let's see what their biggest secrets are. I was going to say Aaron, Denise. Sure, let's do it. They might overlap, but... Yeah. And Denise... Okay, now this gives us kind of a little bit of a better view of what we've got going on here, Aaron versus Denise, in terms of the energy of both. Aaron's up here. We've got, he's toxic. He's got his men's cologne on. He's just wooing the women all over town. And allegedly has a big member. I don't know. He might be a shady snake oil salesman, a little bit. That's what this would say. I don't know. I'm just saying what is in the cards here. And when he was hooking up with Denise, maybe his life was kind of like in the dregs. And he's like, oh, this is going to like be the greatest thing. I snagged Denise Richards and, you know, this is where I'm going to be moving on up. I'll be able to sell my metaphysical business stuff. And it's almost like then she uncovered who he was and he got mad. He got mad. He was like, Wah! I think we saw kind of some of his controlling ways with, if you watch The Housewives, there was a little bit of controlling ways, him holding her hand a little too tight, whatever. But I'm not a big fan of Denise Richards, so we're not going to get it twisted here. her, tired of the drama. I think there was a lot of, with the outdated news here, him trying to use things in her past as blackmail in future. It doesn't really hold weight because she's talked about a lot of it, so. Her understanding like, oh, I've just fallen for another junky dude. And it seems like she may have been cutting him off emotionally or whatever in the relationship. Like, I've had enough of you. Now I finally seen who you are. And we might have recording. She might be smart enough that she recorded or had cameras in the house or something to record his true nature. Can you imagine? This could get spicy. This could get super spicy. Okay. Now, let's go back into let's just see who could win this divorce. Who's going to come out on top? Let's see. We'll do Aaron, Denise. We'll do it that way. Who's going to come on top out of the divorce? Does Aaron get whatever he wants? Does Denise get him out of her life and seemingly not have to pay him spousal support? Aaron. Oh, El Diablo. No. Ace of Cup. 3 of Swords. Strength. And the 4 of Cups. Ooh, that's not looking good for Aaron. Doesn't look like he's going to get what he wants. She, King of Wands. 9 of Wands. Judgment. 2 of Chalices. And the Tower. Ooh, I wonder what this is about. In terms of, it doesn't look like Aaron's going to come out on top on this divorce at the moment. It looks like Denise might be having to call in a whole bunch of favors to terrible demons in Hollywood to help get her out of this jam and to sully Aaron. It looks like Aaron thinks he has something here. He thinks he has an ace in a hole that's just going to maybe take Denise Richards down in terms of public opinion. Does anyone really think that Denise Richards is like Mother Teresa? Bad example. Does anyone think that Denise Richards is a saint? No. So, eventually here it's 4 of Cups. Not a good idea. Because you're not getting what you want. All right. They're just like, here, you can have like, here's $12 a month in spousal support. And that's like not what he wants. Over here, though, she has the connections in Hollywood. God only knows what she's done to make these connections beyond being married to Charlie Sheen. And she's going to have to be working hard for the help. So it looks like the help will come, but she's going to pay a high price. She's going to be making some deals that perhaps she didn't want to be making just to make sure she's severed from the Aaron Phypers drama relationship deal. This Tower card intrigues me, though. Why? What is this? Let's see what we find out then. She gets away from him, but at what cost? What does this cost? Okay, she gets to save her star power, I guess we'll say, by doing things behind the scenes that maybe some people would not imagine she'd be willing to do behind the scenes. Let's just say there's going to be a lot of perhaps horizontal mamboing behind the scenes, other activities to help keep her in the winning column, we shall say. Man, I don't know how many codgers are left up in them Hollywood hills, but it looks like she's going to be needing some knee pads, allegedly, in my opinion. She's also going to be seeking some advice from the codgers of Hollywood, we'll say. She'll be like up there asking all the old balls, like, oh my gosh, tell me how we can do this. And, oh, I've got you covered, but you take care of me, I'll take care of you. Okay. 5 of Pentacles. Okay, debauchery. Let's just say debauchery what she's going to have to pay with to do. Oh, terrible. I don't want to imagine. I don't even want to look into it, but allegedly, in my opinion, from what I'm seeing in the cards, I'm not there. She's going to have to do some terrible, debasing, debauchery type things to get her out of this Aaron Phypers ordeal. Oh. Interesting. She may also have to submit to some type of control of somebody here, and perhaps even marry. You got Ten of Cups in the Hierophant. That she might even have to marry some other type, like some powerful type figure, or at least act as a wife to that person. And this is like something she does not want to do. Like she would have to get tied down again. Like she's getting out of one relationship to be getting tied up, maybe figuratively, maybe literally, in some relationships she does not want to get tied up in, and she might be, I don't think she wants to be a part of somebody else's relationship. And this would be under a certain level of control, like you're going to do this or you're going to do that, and that's it. Ooh. I mean, it might kibosh those OnlyFans things she's been doing. I don't know. But I'm not on OnlyFans, and I'm not watching that crap. But interesting. So I don't think this is going to go well for either. They're both going to lose something. This is going to be terrible, but we'll keep an eye on it. So until next time, adios.